guys. So I recorded an entire video, and then went to hit the stop record button, and it hadn't been recording. Like at all. So here we are, take 2. Let's try this again. Well, good morning. I know I promised you that the next time we'd speak we'd be at the lake, but life had some different plans. Off we went to the lake after the last video where we saw our RE. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And we were having a great time, and then we got a phone call that my mom has had a heart attack. So we came back. It's like a 2-hour drive from the lake back to the hospital that she was at. She was transferred from the... You'll have to excuse the prettiness because I was up really late, and like my house is a disaster. We just came and threw everything inside and then ran off to the hospital, dropped off the dog. But yeah, so we have a hospital called the Heart Institute where they deal with all heart-related stuff, and it's a lot of sort of subject matter experts and specialists and things, so it's the best place for her to be, and she's okay. You know, the concern now is that she's having heart attacks rather than heart attack. She's got acute coronary syndrome disease, something. So they're treating her for that. So provided that she stops having heart attacks, she'll be in for, you know, maybe a week or so, and then she'll be able to come out. So, yeah. So the funny thing is, and like you'll have to excuse the language because I can't think of another way to express this, but one of the side effects of what's going on with my mom is that she's just like, she's a crazy bitch right now. Like, she is so angry at everybody. Like she has all like the stickies, the leads on, and one of them came detached, and so my stepdad's there like, it's beeping, and the beeping's making her upset because she's worried something's wrong, and so he's trying to help her, and so he's just like, you know, fiddling with them, trying to get them, and she's screaming, get your hands off of me, where are the nurses? So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need to stop and buy like a very large fruit basket or edible arrangement or something on my way to the hospital, because I'm pretty sure she's been yelling at the nurses all night. We'll see what happens, but she's okay for now. But it was not the nicest phone call to get when you're so far away and you can't be there to help, and you're just like driving. And of course, Ian, so we're starting IVF again. I'll tell you in a minute. But we're starting IVF again, obviously. And so we're back on like this super sobriety, and we're on vacation, and we're like in the middle of the woods. And so I was like, okay, I'm protecting the eggs, but Ian, you have one last day, like today is your day to have beers, and then we need to like, you know, get on it, be super healthy, only good things in our body. So he like, you know, was sitting by the beach, having a beer, enjoying himself, and then we get this call. So like, poor Ian's just like feeling so badly, he can't drive, he's all stressed out. He fell asleep in the car on the way to the hospital. Like it was quite funny. But okay, so here's the scoop with our next cycle. So I started birth control yesterday. We met with our doctor, and I have to say it was like the most pleasant surprise we've had. She was totally like in it to win it. She was super nice and understanding and heard what we had to say, and wasn't at all weird that I came in with like a stack of notes from having seen another doctor. You know, at the end I sort of said like, thank you, you know, so much for being really cool about this. It's really, you know, I was a little bit stressed out bringing this forward, and I really appreciate the fact that you're so open to this discussion. And she was like, listen, we send people for second opinions all the time. Like, don't be weird about it. And, you know, more heads on a problem, the better. So it's all fine. So that was really nice. So by the time we left, it sort of felt like we'd all come to like a perfect compromise. Like it's what we're doing is an exact protocol that's between the two things of what she wanted and what Dr. Laskin wanted, and we come away sort of right in the middle. And I think we both agree that this protocol is a much better hybrid of the two. It's, you know, better than either one on their own. So that's, so you can't see my tank top, my camera. I use a camera, and it has the little like flip out screen things. There's a screen right there, and I don't know what you see. I'll have to check on the playback, but it kind of looks like I'm naked if I'm not sitting up a little bit more. Let's just, there we go. Maybe that'll, and then it's a new style of video. It's naked infertility videos. Anyway, so yeah, so here's the plan. So I started birth control. I'm doing 21 days of birth control. So from now until July 31st inclusive, I take one birth control pill a day. On the 3rd of August, I start microdose Lupron. So what Dr. Laskin had wanted was long Lupron for 2 months on the front end. What we're actually going to do is long Lupron on the back end. So Lupron starts the 3rd, Stims starts the 5th of August, and he had wanted to do Menopur and Gonal, but my clinic for whatever reason doesn't carry, like the clinic pharmacy doesn't carry Menopur, so we're going to forego Menopur for this cycle. That was one of the compromises we made. But if we have to do another cycle, she said that we can look into ordering it from somewhere. So Stims start August 3rd. Then with Gonal-F and Luvaris, Ganirelix, and Ovidril HCG triggers. So egg retrieval will happen sometime in and around August 15th, and the Lupron continues. We never stop the Lupron. The Lupron goes right up until transfer. So at some point, this is the one piece I didn't write down, and I can't remember. Can you remember? Do you know? I can't remember when I start progesterone and estrogen priming before the frozen transfer. So if you know how far in advance that happens, that would be great information to have, because it's apparently the one thing I just totally spaced out on. But it's going to be PIO. Shit. I know, there's so many of you that are making your videos about PIO, and I'm there all sanctimonious, like, you're fine, you're gonna do great, and you got this, it's so easy, you're fine, you're so brave. And yet here I am, I've never had to do PIO before, and I'm like, oh, what I'm doing? It's a freaking big needle. It's a really big needle. So, I'm sorry for all of my platitudes when it was you, but if you have figured things out and you know how to make that big needle less scary, yeah, man, I'll take it. It's an intimidatingly sized needle to put in your butt every day. So heavy estrogen, heavy progesterone. Essentially, she said, she actually used the word psychopath. She's like, in the doses we're going to give you, you're probably going to be a bit of a psychopath. It's like, great. At that point, I'll note that she was addressing my husband. Like, fantastic. So we're going to do a 5-day freeze or bust. So if there's nothing to freeze on day 5, there's nothing to freeze. We're not going to try to, put one in and save one, because the other thing that we compromised on is, if you'll remember, I have one ovary that's stuck to the back of my uterus, and it was totally unreachable in our last cycle. What Dr. Laskin had wanted to do was to go in through the cervix and to go in through the belly, which sounds horrible, but they don't have anyone trained to do that here, so we'd have to go to Mount Sinai, which we're not doing. So what she said was, we'll plan a freeze-all. We'll go in through your cervix, but we'll go straight through the wall of your uterus. And it'll damage your uterus a little bit. We're not going to do so much damage that it won't recover, but it'll let us get at that ovary at least a little bit. Once the heavy estrogen priming is done, and I'm done being such a psycho, we'll put 2, if we've got them, we'll put 2 embryos back in. And we'll do 2 at a time until we run out and see what happens. It's not a perfect plan, but it's better, and it felt like she actually listened and she actually cared, and we were on the same team, and it was a really nice feeling to feel like finally all the pieces were working together. So we're jumping in head first. As much as we've had our issues with our clinic, and as much as there are some pieces that aren't our favorite, we are going to jump in and take a leap of faith and hope that it all works out. So that's the scoop. Marvel on birth control until July 31st, and then it's go time. And then it's really go time. I had my fertility acupuncture. I'm going to do another video on that because it's so interesting. It's so funny. The guy, I've done acupuncture before, but I did sounds really judgy. I don't mean it to be, but I did medical Western medicine acupuncture, right? It's your meridians and your nerve endings, and it's for nerve pain and that kind of thing. But this is full out, very cool million-year-old little Chinese guy, full on Chinese medicine. And so he sits me down, gives me this big lecture about how my chi is a disaster, and I have depleted chi, and how it's such a shame that I didn't come see him earlier because before I had my tubes taken out, because he totally could have dealt with that problem. And anyway, I'm gonna take a video because it's so interesting and it's so weird and it's so much fun. So that's it. That's the scoop. I will keep you posted. Given that we're now in cycle mode, I think I'm probably gonna be doing more videos, so you'll be stuck with me a little bit more often. I think I'm gonna do a TTC tag, because I've had a couple of people ask what our backstory is, and we keep saying we'll do it and we don't do it. So we're gonna do it. I'm gonna do it sometime this week. That's it. that is the update. That is what I have for you right now. So we'll keep you in the loop, and yeah, hopefully there's like no big roadblocks, and my mom gets out of the hospital and everything goes back to the normal level of crazy rather than this ridiculous elevated level. Okay, I hope everybody out there in the world is doing well, and I will talk to you soonish. His little feet look like pom-poms in the water. I don't know if you can see that, but he's so fluffy. Little pom-pom feet.